Winter is my favorite season. Yeah, I'm gonna start a war with that. Hi, my name is Shivani, aka the trans girl who lives in Texas and hates every egotistical Texan that lives here because that's all this state has. That's literally all it has going for it. It has no benefits. But anyways, this video is gonna be kind of reminiscent of the 5 years video, or some of the checkup videos, if you will, right? I want to talk about winter. And I know what you're probably thinking. This is the same bitch who just uploaded a Death Note Killer Within video. What the fuck positive shit can she say about winter? And just to preface for those who are finding this video for the first time, finding me for the first time because of it, these videos are typically not scripted. So if I sound like I'm just kind of babbling, well, it's because I am. I'm literally just babbling about. I'm not actually trying to be cohesive in any way, shape, or form. But why am I making this video exactly? Why am I talking about winter and why it's a nostalgic and cool season to me? Well, honestly, other than I want to, I don't really have a reason. I'm just kind of going with it. I'm just kind of having fun, I just wanted to make this video. I thought it'd be nice. And it can give some people a little bit of insight on something that I usually don't really talk about. So why not, So first of all, why do I like winter in general? Like, not just like what winter has or whatever. Why do I like winter in the general grand scheme of things? Well, let's start off with probably the most obvious factor, and that is I love the aesthetics of winter. Whether it be with snow or like ice, dead leaves falling off of trees, all that shit, which is technically more autumn. But I mean, like, I'm talking like all the leaves are gone off the tree, you know what I mean? Like that kind of winter shit. I don't know why, but the aesthetic of all that is just so pretty to me. If that makes sense, it's kind of hard to explain why I find it so endearing to me. I really don't know how to explain it. But like, I feel like if some people who are kind of like me, who like snow and like ice and that kind of stuff, maybe they would have a better way of explaining why I might kind of like it. But I don't know. I just find it like really like a relaxing and comfy kind of vibe. I mean, hell, the main homeworld I have in VRChat is like comfy winter, which is like a little like, I think it's like a little like log cabin thing in the middle of like a wintry field sort of thing. And it's just nice, it's just comfy. I like it. Other than that though, winter is well known for being cold as fucking shit for almost no fucking reason. The earth is dying. But essentially, right? Like, don't get me wrong. I don't like being too cold, and sometimes winter can get too cold. If you guys have been in Texas, and if you remember when ice shit started happening in 2021 and 2022, Jesus Christ, what the hell was happening here? We normally never get snow, and we had all that ice. It was just bullshit is what it was. Damn, especially in 2021 when I was already having a great time as is. Now, I'm not really a fan of being like too freaking cold, right? But I mean, that's kind of the sacrifice you gotta have for beautiful snow and ice. You freeze your tits off. It's still nice though, and the feeling of like laying down in bed all bundled up in your covers or whatever as like the cold settles in, but you're so warm and nice and you don't want to get the hell out, that is a nice feeling. And then you wake up in the morning shivering your tits off and it's just, you wonder why you did it, but you're still like, it was worth it in the end, Hell, I've been having to like switch back with my fucking air vent because like sometimes it gets too hot, then sometimes it gets too cold, and I'm like, fucking stick with the lane. I don't know, I like the aesthetic, and I definitely like the cold feeling. It's got a nostalgic feel to it, if that makes sense. It's got a nostalgic feel to it. And not to say that the other seasons cannot provide any of that, far from it. The other seasons can definitely provide the same kind of nostalgia feeling, especially if you love those other seasons a lot more. Like, I bet someone who loves summer like the most, like that's their favorite season, they would feel more nostalgia for summer than I would feel for it, because that's not my favorite season. Back as third place. Oh god, I'm starting a war. That's kind of like the general basis of like why I like winter, like just by itself, right? I mean, I could have gone more in detail, talk about like, oh, stuff like Christmas and all these holidays where family and friends get together. Look, man, Thanksgiving was great, but that was only because I got to play Mario Party with Jordan and Brendan, had some fun. Hang out with the family members who respect me, That's all I'm saying. Not for real, though. It was fun on Thanksgiving. And I don't know how to really describe how I feel about my family, because I have literally 2 videos I have 2 videos in my folder that's literally just me going all out on my family because they have raisin brains. Not that they'll watch this video. Who fucking cares? Sorry, let's get back on topic here. I do have memories though with like friends and family for winter because that's kind of like when people start, I don't know why, but people just do a lot more during the winter, right? I don't really know how to explain it necessarily. Like, I guess back then when I was younger it made sense, right? People were off for school because winter break and everything, but like nowadays I hang out with adults because I'm not a fucking creep on the internet. I'm not a Minecraft YouTuber. So like I don't hang around anyone who's underage. Like it's already fucking risky enough being on the internet. Now you want me to try to do that? Fuck no, bro. Like yeah, I met all my friends when they were underage, but I was underage too, you know? So it's like what the fuck ever, right? That wasn't a big deal at all. That's a big problem with the internet, Jesus Christ, when I think about it, is like, you know, sometimes you just want to be friendly and just hang out, but it's like you can't do that with the kids online because then people will think you're a Minecraft YouTuber, right? And like, you know, all you're probably trying to do is just be friendly or at the very least say like, hey, I'm only hanging out with the adults or what the fuck ever, you know, just stress and shit. I'm going off topic. What am I saying? How about we just jump to the next topic before I go on another tangent, right? Before I lose my fucking shit, right? Winter gives me this huge nostalgic vibe, as I probably took some nods at in this video already. How does it make me feel nostalgic though? What does it do for me? Well, let's start off with talking about video games when it comes to this, because that's the kind of one thing I have nostalgia for. Now, I know this is going to be ironic to talk about, but Sonic the Hedgehog. I know us Sonic fans are tired of nostalgia pandering, especially with Green Hill and whatnot. But here's the thing, it's not necessarily that we hate nostalgia. We just hate it when nostalgia becomes the norm. We hate Green Hill because it's no longer about nostalgia, it's about what's the fucking norm, and it pisses us the fuck off. That's why a lot of us were more happy with the stuff we saw in Shadow Generations, because these levels we haven't seen have renditions of in years, or we haven't seen them have a rendition at all. Minus Chaos Island. I have no fucking idea why that's there, but that was nostalgia done right. And one set of Sonic levels that I usually like are the ice levels. In fact, I just love ice levels in general. Now, I know for people who play platformers, they consider ice levels to be the bane of their existence, or at the very least levels that they try to tolerate, but for me, I love those kind of levels. I really love ice levels, and not just for the aesthetic, but I love the challenge that it brings for me. In most other platformer games, you're used to having full control of your character, assuming that the character control's good in the first place. But when putting them on something like ice, for example, that control takes a completely different turn, and you either make jumps farther than you would originally expect, or you kind of try to stop your character, but because you're on ice and sliding around, it could lead to you falling into a pit or running into an enemy that you otherwise did not want to. And honestly, I kind of like that in a way, because it has a different skill ceiling to it in some cases, and I love ice levels for that. I know a lot of other people don't really like that for platformers, but it's just me. Stuff like Ice Cap from Sonic Adventure, that one snowy like forest area in Sonic and the Black Knight, I think it was one of the final missions, like for like the final part of the story, if I'm not mistaken. That was pretty fun. And while not technically an official Sonic thing, there was a mod for Sonic Frontiers that changes Green Hill to look more like a hilltop if it was more snowy instead of lava themed. And oh my god, why didn't Sega do this? Because seriously, this looks like one of the greatest things in the world. Seriously, if Sega just did this, like, yeah, I'd still be a little upset that it's just reusing Green Hill assets. But then again, Shadow Generations still reused Chemical Plant assets for the Metal Overlord fight. No, I'm serious. It's literally just Chemical Plant buildings, but colored to look like the same color scheme from the Egg Fleet. Don't even get me started on the ice levels in the Super Mario Brothers games. Hell, Kitsune Tales, I hope I said that right. Did I say that right? Kitsune Tales is a platformer similar to Mario, and it has some ice levels that are challenging as shit, to say the least, but they were also really fun and really well made. But in terms of how I feel for the winter, right, I don't know how to explain this. This could just be for me being cold in general, but whenever I'm like cold, right, or when I feel like the cold breeze from outside or around the house or whatever, or hell, not even just that, just the warm feeling, like whether it be from the fireplace or a heater that we have or whatever, right? I don't know why, but it has this like form of it gives me a nostalgic feeling that nothing else can really bring to me. And it's really fucking weird. I don't know how to explain it right, but it's just a cool feeling. Like, does anyone else feel that way with like any other like season, or maybe the exact season I'm talking about here, to where it's like you feel those temperatures and you felt them before, but it just feels great. It just feels nostalgic, and it reminds you of older times. It reminds you when you were younger, or maybe it reminds you of a certain time in the past. You know, I don't know. Does anyone else get that? Or am I the only one? Maybe I'm just crazy, you know? But to be fair, I'm just kind of blabbering about. I'm not trying to make sense anyway, so I don't take my word for fact. No, but winter also provides, well, I guess I can't say provides, because it really doesn't provide anything. But during the winter, I get like a safe feeling. The best way I can truly describe it, right, is that I just overall feel safe during the winter, which is kind of ironic considering what's been going on in the world recently. That aside, right, it kind of reminds me of like older times when life was simple, when life actually felt like it had a purpose. Because, like, in case you guys don't know me, I'm a very depressing person and I don't like this world. I don't remember the last time I ever considered it decent. But winter, it just, I don't know, those thoughts about hating the world, they don't come by as often, unless I hammer it into my own skull, right? Which is a pretty big improvement compared to how I usually act. Because like any other season, I'll bash the fuck out of the earth, like talk shit about it or whatever, and not give two damns at all. But then in winter, it's like, yeah, I'll still do it, but it's for some reason not as common. I don't know how to really explain it. But yeah, no, like, it just kind of reminds me of older times, and I guess in a way it reminds me of when I was a kid, and it gives me that sense of safety in a way, even though nothing has changed. Does that make any sense? It's kind of like when you hang out with like that one friend that you like really like hanging out with, right? Like, yeah, they're a twig and probably cannot fight off a fucking behemoth or whatever, but they're your best friend, so, you know, you feel safe with them regardless of what they can or cannot do. It's the little things, I think, is what it is. It might be like, chair, shut the fuck. It might just, like, be from past experiences or whatever that kind of builds up these emotions, if you will. Whether they be good or bad memories that you may have had, right? I don't know if anyone else ever thinks about this, right? I don't know if anyone ever like has like memories of some things that they've gone through during spring, for example. Like, do they look back with a positive outlook or not? Because for me, for the most part, I've had good things happen in winter, but I've also had some bad things in winter. But like, I look back at all of it, right, and I don't really feel like any of them enhance or derail my feelings towards winter. But at the same time, I feel like they're good contributors as to why I feel so nostalgic for this season, you know? This probably makes absolutely no sense to anybody. Or maybe I'm making so much sense, but no one talks about it because they maybe didn't know how to explain it. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just a fucking weirdo. I have Asperger's, so what do I fucking know? I like winter. I like it a lot. It's a nice, cozy season. I love it. Literally, the VRChat world I have is just a cozy winter, like, cabin kind of world. It's nice. I love it. I mean, like, yeah, I don't know what else I can really say about it. Is winter all great? Of course not. Because what's ever great with me, right? I mean, you know, like I said, you freeze your tits off a lot, and, you know, New Year can be kind of stressful because you're worried about what will happen in the next current year. You're also maybe looking back at some of the things you might have done in the past that you're not too fond of or whatever. But you know, you just gotta look back at it with a grain of salt. What, did you guys think I was gonna get all depressing or emotional or whatever? Not this time. No, not this time. No, I'll admit a lot of things have happened this year and just in winter in general for past years and whatnot, but it is what it is, right? You know, we can't change the past. We can't, you know, change what has already been said and done and whatnot. Can we improve on some of these things, whether it be with the specific people who we've had certain interactions with, or maybe certain groups? Absolutely. But if there's some things that just cannot be fixed, the best thing to do is to move on, right? Because, like, if you're over here butting your head trying to figure out how you can improve something for It's something that doesn't even need to be improved or want to be improved. Why are you wasting your time, you know? Why don't you waste that time, or I guess not even waste your time. Spend that time with people who will actually respect you. Spend that time with people who will actually see your efforts, if that makes sense. And I'm not saying to like have people be dick riders for you. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is have people notice and respect you for what you can do, right? If that makes sense. Don't let people take advantage of you, or don't let people think you as nothing more than, like, I don't know, a second option or whatever. And yeah, there's gonna be a lot of people that are like that, but that's not everybody in the world, if that makes sense, right? We can make mistakes, we can say things that we shouldn't have said, but at the end of the day, we gotta treat them like, we treat those like mistakes. We don't say these things to each other because it's something we should do, because we shouldn't do that. But if it happens, you know, heat of the moment or whatever, right? We got to make amends with that. We got to apologize and realize that we were in the wrong when we do things. There's so many things I was wrong about. There's so many things that I've done wrong. And I have done everything in my power to correct myself, to apologize to those affected and all that shit. Hell, even in situations where I technically didn't do anything wrong, I still apologize because there were some instances where I feel I could have handled certain scenarios better. Even if I was in the right for feeling how I felt in these kind of situations, if that makes sense. Back to what I was trying to say, right? I didn't mean to get all like philosophical there, but I'm not gonna have like an emotional moment either, you know? I just primarily wanted to talk a little bit about winter. I say a little bit, but you know, this video is kind of going on for like over 15 minutes and all that shit. I just thought it'd be fun to talk about, you know? Talk about my like nostalgic stuff with winter. Is this a good video explaining it? Absolutely not. But I love winter, so I just kind of wanted to bring it up. But anyways, that's kind of all I have for this video. I appreciate you guys for listening in. I appreciate you all for, you know, doing what you can to shut up. You're awesome, okay? Just let it, just accept the compliment. Just accept the compliment. You're fucking awesome, and yeah. Anyways, that's all I want to say. Hope you have a good day, night, afternoon, whatever it is where you're at. Be sure to have a good one. Anyways, I'm gonna go hop in VRChat real quick. I need to do some world hopping, if you will. We'll just put it at that. I need to do some world hopping. mods with mirrors, like you can hit a button to make it go away and come back. I pressed the button and the button also disappeared, so no mirror forever. Yeah. Okay, I'll chill. I'll chill. You do your thing, I'll do my own thing. Okay.
Never. I found the promised land.
Golden there.
Oh my god. Okay, now first I just want to say, I'm not gonna be like every other scumbag in this game and make up BS that makes absolutely no sense. I'm not gonna say, never have I ever had sex with 20 women. I'm not gonna say, never have I ever murdered someone. I'm not gonna say, never have I ever... Let's go with it. Just wanted to get that out of the way, because I hate this game solely because of that. I have so much regret.
I hope this is it. Okay, so wait, black box is where... Please be it. Fuck me sideways.
God. Oh. These third-party VR controllers look great to see how far I can push their limits.
God.
There's a light inside your soul that's still shining in the cold with the truth, the promise in our hearts. Don't forget, I'm with you.